Let's go, team. So what's happening, guys? What's happening? When we looking at the markets, you guys do know we're taking it nice, we're taking it easy. Okay. What's happening? What's happening, team? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? I hope you guys are doing well. So yeah, man, I want us to take a look at the market. You know, the market just open now. It's gonna be a nice one. So yeah, man. Let's take a look at the dollar index real quick. Starting off first with the dollar index. So yeah, man, you can see the previous week we're looking at this exact same move. You can see it here. This is the move that we're looking at, and we were here obviously lower low. We're targeting these lower lows here, and then we target another lower high and then lows. And you see here the first area, I was like, once it gets here, price can just play around and then we go down, or price can go somewhere ultimately till here and then go back down. So that already is able to guide us so that we are able to understand, because see it formed a new lower high here, a new lower high right here, boom boom. And yeah, man, it eventually broke to the downside, and right now we're targeting those areas that we did speak about. So I'm excited, I'm happy the price is moving this way. So what that means, the dollar has been dropping, which means that obviously we can understand that the dollar was the gold pushed upwards during that whole time frame. You can see here we had these pushes upwards. Let's see, because this is more on the 1 hour time frame. You can see all that push from yesterday evening all the way down, and here we can see from yesterday evening, where was it? It was somewhere here. Yesterday evening was here. We see all the way up, and even now. So we're still seeing price come at least somewhere around these areas. I mean, bullish till somewhere around these areas, cracking above here, and then from there would be able to just see what's happening. From there we're gonna build from it. So what I have here is I've got this area whereby just by breaking it down for you, so that it's much more easier for you to understand, for you to see exactly what I'm seeing here. We had this area right here that got respected. Price couldn't break above here. We went a bit more to the downside, created these lower lows, lower low. It went up, it respected this area, didn't break above. It went just a bit below, but while it was going down, you can see here this was a low. It broke those lows, and price just continued to just go a bit more to the downside till this area here, and then from this area we saw price push upwards here. So with that, just with my understanding so far already, what I'm seeing is because I believe New York is about to open within the next few minutes. Let me just see what the news are saying. I think one of the first things that we need to do is check out on the news before we even go more deep. Okay, so today is Wednesday. You can see 5 p.m. we've got this coming up, and then 9:30 we've got President Trump speaking. He spoke yesterday. Didn't really do much in the markets, but today we also got this at 5 p.m. and then he's going to be speaking at around 9. So that's something that we need to be on the lookout for. So I'm going to go to the 5 minutes. On the 5 minute, I was able to spot, because here where we are, it's a very interesting area. I was able to spot the GS price lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, and so on. So this area that we're at is the last significant point before price done this whole movement here. And now you see it came back to retest. So there's chances of it coming down from here, but because I'm actually I'm looking for buys compared to sells. I'm not really looking for this, even if it happens to go like down, right? It's not like I'm against it, or it's not like I'm saying that it shouldn't do that, but it's not what I was looking for. I was just looking for a buy in this scenario. So already now I can see for entry, let's say if I was taking a sell for entry, I would have had a stop loss just above, maybe take profit 1:2, something more like this. So this could have been a trade that's currently running already. But with the looks of it, like I did say, on my side, the one thing that I was able to spot is this area, it did respect this area, we also respected to it. So now within the structure, so let me go back to the 1 hour and see what the 1 hour is telling me. So here on the 1 hour, I can see on the bigger time frame, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. So obviously we're expecting for price to go and create like highs, like let's say high, there's a low, I mean like more of like breaking these highs and so on, something more like this here. So that's what we're expecting. So selling would be short term, and I wouldn't really want to be involved in a short term trade. So what am I looking for here? I can already see price broke above, it's going upwards here, and this is the last area where before price actually experienced this whole push upwards. In fact, the push that even broke right here, let's see, this is where we have changed our character on this bigger time frame. We've changed character by breaking here, or I can easily say right here is the one, and this was influenced by these areas here. So before that happened, obviously you can see these were influenced by these areas right here. So that's why even now for me, in terms of entry wise, I'm looking for price to at least push a bit more to the downside, like a bit more to the downside, and then once you're here, I'll take a buy and then go up with it, so when it does go up and break above, I'm in that buy. So I'm positioning myself for all the buy positions that I can find, right, instead of just trying to be involved, because even I did say that this is a nice clean setup for for buys, but it won't, I mean for sells, but it's not what I'm looking for. Me taking that setup, it will just be me wanting to be in the markets because of no other reason, I don't know. So US tech as well. So on the 1 hour, this one here has been shooting upwards. You can see how it's moving higher, 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 low, higher, high, higher, low, higher highs, higher, low, higher, high, and so on. And within the last few, since Tuesday, I mean since yesterday evening, or it hasn't really been moving much. Yes, I can see that it's been pushing a bit more to the upside, but you can see, I mean, like today in the last few hours, it's been more like ranging. So I'll go to the 15-minute. And then right here on the 15, I'm going to just clean this out. So on the 15, what am I seeing? So I'm seeing that these areas here, okay, I'm seeing that this, I think I got it from the 5-minute. So on the 15, I can already see, yes, we've got this higher low. We've got these being our high, and now these being our higher low. So if I were to draw these higher highs and higher lows for you, you can see another one being here, and another one being here, which means that price should not get lower than this, but it should break above higher than this. You see, it should break above higher than this, but it should not get lower than this, not lower, above. So that's what I'm currently looking for, especially here on NASDAQ. Let me just go to the 5-minute to show you how exactly I'll be targeting the trade once it does show itself, because remember, it's more on about also how you take advantage of the markets once it does show itself. So I'm going to go to the 5-minute. That's where we execute, that's where I execute. And right here I can already see that, okay, just by playing with it, I can already see that, yes, I did mention that these areas were highs, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Then here we had, didn't really close below, but it was like prices trying to change its direction in terms of coming now for sells compared to buys. And then here we didn't really break above these areas, we respected these areas, and then price went down. You can see how price went to the downside right here. So then with this, already I can see that we formed a lower low, lower high, lower low, and then here with this candle, because this was our last significant lower high, price didn't break the lower low, although it did like create these spike out there. So if you had stop losses below, or you had sell stops, you got activated, you got triggered. So these cells were actually triggered, and then price started pushing a bit more upside. It broke above here. So now this area, it started changing. It started being from like, an upward trend to a downward trend. And sometimes those things can happen because price can go from being upward trend to sideways markets for some time. It does happen, it's market structure. So then with that, one thing that I was able to spot as well is okay, here we basically broke above, and then now we came back to the downside, and this is on the 5-minute. So this area at the bottom 5 has been tested by this candle, by these ones here, and this is where we currently are. Let me just do this. And this one here tried to be tested, but it didn't, because you can see here we really needed this test to come through here, but it didn't really test it out. It just like got close to it, and then it started like, aiming for more upwards. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna let this show me exactly what it's trying to do, because I don't want to predict it. I don't want to guess where it's gonna go and things like that, because two scenarios. It's either price can just, once we here, then we start seeing it go back upwards, break above, or the second scenario would be it just coming back down because of this. Let me make it be a bit more clean, because of these areas here at the low, and then once it comes a bit more to the downside, it breaks below, and then once it breaks below, it comes and then it tests around these areas. Then this is gonna become like, more of like an area where we're gonna start looking at exactly how we're gonna like, enter, because just because it got there doesn't necessarily mean that I need to enter on the spot. I used to do that a lot of times, but looking at my data and stuff, I was able to see that if I can reduce doing that, I would be able to have a higher win rate. So that's just that, like, the whole point of trading is, if you're doing something, and no matter what, but if you're doing something, the more you are able to fix the mistakes, the more you are able to become better. So once we get here, obviously we're gonna take it, and then I'll just see what happens. Hopefully price can push up and then come back to retest, and then once it goes up, I'll be able to be tagged in on that. So looking for an entry, let's say for instance, if it's like this, stop loss would have to be below, which is gonna be a very huge one. You can see the risk to reward, how it's gonna be 1:2. It's gonna be a bit more huge compared to if it's somewhere around these levels here, because here it's much more better. I can put my stop loss just below, then my take profit 1:2 somewhere around here, which is gonna be nice, especially looking at the fact that we will be targeting to come all the way up here. So with NASDAQ, I'm gonna look for this. I'm gonna look at what exactly happens if, let's say for instance, since I'm not just gonna enter when it gets here, if this happens, like it respects this area and then it goes up, what I'm gonna do is that in between this area here, there will be a level whereby I can place an entry, maybe somewhere here. So when price comes back for a retest, this is where I'll be able to place my buy limit, and then I'll go up with it. And like I did say, this one here, it's gonna be the same. Once it tags, if it pushes, shows some commitment to the upside, I'll be able to come back down. But also NASDAQ, one thing that I was able to spot with yesterday's trade, because I was looking for a buy yesterday, and I had something more like this. I was looking for this to happen, this, and stop loss just below here, and obviously 1:2. So look at what happened. Price came, it activated me, it went down, and then it took me out just like this. And then after it took me out, look at what happened. It went straight to take profit. And as soon as it done this, because as soon as I was looking at it, as soon as this candle closed, I was like, the perfect time for me to enter would be here. Like, let's say for instance, now that it was confirmed, buying just after this candle closed, and then stop loss just below it, and targeting 1:2, which could have been more like a setup like this, and this was going to be clean. But obviously that was just like forward testing. I didn't really take it exactly like that, because I was waiting for the initial setup, but that was like, something that I added on to how I see the markets now, which made it be much more better, because now I was able to increase my win rate just by understanding that and seeing this simple mistake that can potentially cost me thousands if I don't fix it, by the way, ne? So if I don't fix it, it's gonna cost me a lot. So yeah, man, so you see with gold, that's why I did say selling it doesn't really make sense, but it's now I'm looking for a sell for let's say short-term sell, but I'm waiting for that buy. And short-term sell mean that I'm just looking for price to fall so I can buy it when it's cheap. I can't buy it when it's here. I can't buy it when it's here, ne? So I just want price to at least push at least below, so it gives me a nice proper entry. So here where it is, it's at an area of resistance. It's not gonna be a nice move to sell it, just like this one here. This one here, when I saw it, was around like this times here, but because I don't really treat at these times, I just let it slide, because yeah, it really made sense for me to get an entry sell. The one is to this really made sense, but I just didn't take this type of a trade because of the fact that it was not within my trading times. So that's also something that I was able to stack up. So right now, yeah, man, I'm excited. Let's see, it's now been 15 minutes since, and let's just see what happens with these. Let me just see, where's those news here? Oh yeah, here, ISM. This one here, they already did come through, the employment change. So let's see what this is all about. Now let's just have an understanding on what exactly is this all about, and what does this data mean for us. Maybe it can help us. So let's just say this one here is the automatic data processing. Okay, estimated change in the number of employed people during the previous month, excluding the farming industry and government. So these are the change of number of the people that are employed during the previous month, ne? But we're not including farmers and governments. So actual greater than the forecast is good for currency. If this is actually greater than forecast, it means that it's good for the currency. It's monthly, usually on the first Wednesday after month ends. So you can see now this is the first Wednesday, so that's why we got this. So basically it's being released each and every each and every single Wednesday. So about that. And yeah, man, so next time you will see it's going to be on the 7th of January. This data provides an early look at the employment growth, usually 2 days ahead of the government released employment data that is designed to mimic source. Okay, it's not going to help. Why traders care? Job creation is an important leading indicator of consumer spending, which accounts for majority of overall economic activity. ADP analyzes payroll data from more than 26 million workers to derive employment growth estimations. So this is good because it helps us be able to see exactly what we can expect in terms of like the employment in the US side of it, because ultimately if this is like a positive thing, if this actually goes up, then you can simply see that this is good for currency, which shows that it will boost the USD economy, which means that if it does boost it, let's see what was the feedback, because looking at the technicals, I was able to see where I wanted to buy the dollar index and stuff. But let's look at what happened. Previous was 47. The forecast was actually looked to be 5K, which is less, and we went down to 32K, which is less as well, but better than the forecast that it was supposed to be more. So if it got to this level, there could be some massive moves to the dollar in terms of dropping massively. But because of it's not that huge like that, that's why you can see even the drops here. This was a drop. You can see, look at the drop. This is a drop. We've been seeing this drop. But mind you, fundamentals are not like instant. It doesn't mean that it's going to affect right now. Automatically it can still continue. Just that is it's an indicator to show that price is still going to be pushing downwards. So me, once I see that, I understand that price is still going to be pushing downwards with just that information that I got. And then where is it? Yes, so ultimately it's already out. It's pushing. Dollar can still continue going down. When dollar goes up, down, gold is going to be going up, which is good for me to look for buys. not sells, like I did say. So you can see even here, if you had a sell here, it was gonna fail. So that's why sometimes it's good to be on the right side of the market compared to wanting to force it out, man. Okay, let's see. So I'm just gonna remove this to clean this out. And yeah, man, let's just see how it goes. With what I'm seeing, there's a high chance that this could squeeze out to confirm that it wants to go up, and then that will drag and then push up. You see, so that's what I'm seeing. But let's look at the other one, which is ISM, Institute for Supply and Management. Okay, level of diffusion index based on surveyed purchasing managers, excluding the manufacturing industry. So you remember the last time when we were looking at the news, we were speaking about the PMI, the purchasing managers index, but this one here is excluding the manufacturing. Ne? They will speak about the purchasing manufacturing index. Here it's excluding it. Actual greater than forecast is good for the currency. Okay, above 50 indicates industry expansion, below indicates contraction. Sources change. Okay, yes. Why traders care? It's a leading indicator in economic health. Businesses react quickly to market conditions, and their purchasing managers hold perhaps the most current and relevant insights into the company's view of the economy. Okay. So what this basically, the first thing is, if the actual is greater than what's forecasted, it's gonna be good. So right now I can see that the previous is 52.4. What's forecasted is 52.0, which means that it's a decrease. It's a fall. Aiming to see that this is gonna fall, which means that if it comes out and it's anywhere below 52.4 or anywhere below the actual, like 52, if it's 51, 50, 49, whatever the case is, then you understand that this is gonna be falling. It's gonna be, USD is gonna be falling massively. Because why? Actual is good for currency. If it's not greater, it's bad for currency. So yeah, man, you see now, that's what's happening. We are now cracking above these areas, and then once we crack above, that's where we'll start seeing some push, maybe a bit more to the downside, and then that's where we'll start stacking up those buys as soon as price starts to confirm. So let's see on NASDAQ. So okay, this one here is still more like playing on the same areas. So this one here, I still believe that, you know, this obviously is gonna, like, looking at it, it has already confirmed what I wanted it to do, which is to close above here, which is confirming this big push upwards. So now it's just a matter of entry, you know, finding entry, because it doesn't help if you're able to see the markets going up, but you're not gonna find any entry from it. And looking at it, if this is going up, let's just say this is a swing point. I'm not really saying it's gonna stop here and go down, but I'm just saying this is swing point. Automatically, what this is you can see that anytime you're selling a market, you're buying a market, you should be buying below the 50% level. At least, even if it's like literally, even if I don't have a strategy and I just buy here and stop loss is here below and take profit, that's even better compared to buying here at these areas. You understand? Unless if maybe you are seeing that your swing low is here and your swing high is here and your 50% is going to be anywhere below here, this also does make sense. But as long as you're buying when prices are less compared to when it's more, because even with this, I would have to sit down and look, because we might even come to these areas here, test them out before you push upwards. That's also a possibility. Yeah? So they have to just see when the news come out, exactly when they come out, you know, and on top of that, like, you know, how we'd be able to fully capitalize from it. Okay, so that's just on this side of things. Just give me a second, team. So yes, you can see, so now we're able to just push up, and we can see this 5 minute is now allowed price to push up. Already the market is open. Let me just see what these ones here. Look at these spike up also. So yeah, man, I'm just now gonna have to wait. So yeah, I wouldn't really take more like an entry. Yeah, sometimes I've seen myself like not taking entries like this, and then when I leave them, they happen to be profitable setups. Like let's say for instance an entry like this, I leave it and find out that it goes and hits my take profit. But normally I would like to, you know, at least wait for around those areas, like especially on the 5 minutes. I would like to at least have like, you know, 3 bearish candles like at an area. Like you see here, this was dope because it's 3 bearish candles. It confirms the move, like this retracement. Like even here, this is like a fair one. Yeah, it's only 2. Yeah, it's only 3. This is 3. This is dope as well. So that's what I'm gonna be waiting for. Let's see, US Tech. So you see US Tech now is trying to aim for the push. So once we get that push down, that's why the price is gonna be interesting. Like I did say, the price is gonna respect this, go up and break, and then once it comes, we'll be able to find that entry. But if not, that means that price is gonna like, and then start pushing, I mean come a bit more to the downside, even do something. Remember, the market doesn't move clean. It can do something like this and then do something like this and do that. You get it? Like it's not too clean. It doesn't really get to a specific area. It's not like picture perfect is what I'd say. Okay, so I'm just going to observe it, keep a close eye to it like a hawk, just to make sure that I have a full understanding on what this is saying. So let me just go through some of the questions that you guys do have so far while I'm still looking at this. You see now how this one here was able to close, which is nice, which is clean. This is clean. This is where we'll see exactly that push down, and then another push up. And like just for also confirming, this would be like more of a third touch for those that would want to use different types of confluences. This is like, you know, you can see first touch here, second touch, and then obviously we're expecting a third touch here. You see, so it's nice to be able to buy price when it's like, you know, cheaper, if that makes sense. It's much more better to buy price here compared to buying it here. Even if this goes and hits take profit, I don't really enjoy such trades. And in terms of take profit wise, we're still coming to crack above here. Let me just remove this. So we still have a lot of opportunity to the upside, né? Because obviously this is gonna do is take a 1:2. Another opportunity maybe shows itself somewhere here. Another 1:2. 1:2. Boom boom. 1:2. And then as it goes, there will be opportunities along the way that will allow us to be able to find, you know, entries type thing going all the way up. So that's just like, you know, me trying to just show you the fact that this is not, it's, you see trades like from a bigger perspective, né? Instead of a smaller perspective. Okay, so I see members saying let's look at US 30. No problem, let's do that. Where is it? Okay, 1 hour. So US 30. I had a trade, when was it? I think it was on Monday. Yes, Monday we took a trade here on it. I was even able to share, and I was like, I noticed what happened here because I saw a head and shoulders here, but I bought it right here. Let me show you what I saw. This was on Monday, né? I bought it right here, and then price went just below. Price went a bit more to the upside, and then price went down. So this was good in terms of if I more like revenge traded or forced it, because at some point after I'd done this, I was like, yo, this thing is going up. It's like I could just put a buy here, stop loss, and like take profit 1:2, and you see it would have went straight take profit, and I would have basically just, but I realized that it's not part of my strategy. It's not really what I was targeting, and right now I'm actually working on my trading plan. So it's a thing of I have to really respect it in order to get the results that I want. So just by cleaning it up, let's just see what happened afterwards. So with that, you can see we had these areas low, lower high right here, and then these low. This is on the 1 hour time frame, right? Lower lows, yeah, lower high and lower lows on the 1 hour. So we are in between these areas here. So I'm gonna go to the 15 minutes. So on the 15-minute, like we did say, lower low, lower high, lower low, didn't really form down there, and then now we started seeing highs. But you see how it's moving this one, it's not too nice. So obviously we had this, and then once price came here, we started changing our direction in terms of from being lows to now being higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. So already right now I can see here, once we got here, let me use this, once we got here again, we're expecting for price to push above, it didn't, so it respected these areas more like double tops, and these were our low, but we cracked below. So just that on its own is showing me that there is some chances of us shooting downwards from here where we are, shooting downwards. But let's see how exactly in terms of on a 5-minute, because at the end, guys, what matters is entry. It doesn't matter if you see something's gonna go down, but you don't really know how you're gonna capitalize on it when it does go down. So here I can see we're forming lows, we're breaking the low. You can see even here we continuously kept on breaking lows. When exactly did we start changing our here, once we crack below here, right here, and then we started creating these lower lows, lower highs, and so on. So with this one here, looking at it now that we are confirming with these breaks, there's a high chance that we could potentially aim or target these areas right here at the bottom. Price already pushed upwards here. We can see here we had some young fair value gap right here in between these structures here. Price pushed upwards, price came down, price, yes. So the only best way is just that you see how market is moving now. So when it does this, obviously some people would be thinking that they won't get opportunities and stuff, but for me, I understand very well that this is amazing, this should happen. And we've got these areas. This is our first area, and we've got this being our second. So for me, if I really want to be involved in this trade, I'd rather wait for price to come back at these levels here, right here. That's if I want to really be in this trade bad enough, ne? I'd wait for price to get back. It's just that now it's moving too quick, ne? I'd rather wait for price to push back. Once it pushes back, once it gets here, that's where I know that I'd be able to place sells, because it's now confirming to be pushing downwards, which I'm seeing. And you know, even just by target 1:2, it would make sense, but I know that I'd be coming all the way down to here. So on the 1 hour, let's see. On the 1 hour as well, I'm still playing in between that structure, which means that since we did say that we are forming lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, which means that even when it hits my take profit, I'm aiming for it to crack below this for a lower low, and hopefully it will respect these areas, and then that's where maybe we might start seeing something like this. But looking at it right now, I don't think there are, because it's pushing a bit more to the downside now. Okay, ooh, look at this breakout. So you see, one of the advantages of the method that I did mention in terms of being able to just wait. What time is it? Is it 5 already? Or it's not? Because if I just had like a buy stop, let's just say a buy limit right here. Obviously I was going to deactivate it and shut out, which was the mistake that I done when I was trading, I think US30. So luckily I did mention that because of the losses that we were able to take, it teaches us on how exactly the one that I took, I think it was here, it teaches us moving forward what we can do at best. Because I didn't really, I waited for it, I knew what I'm waiting for. Where is it? Gold. No. I knew what I was waiting for, but for it to get here, I needed like specific confirmations. And you see what happened now. It didn't really give those confirmations. So let me just build with what I'm seeing, what the price is now saying. So already price did push down. Here on the 1 hour, I can see this huge spike down. So let me just see till where we could expect price to push down. I'm seeing this area be either price is gonna aim for these lows here on the 15 minutes right here, this level, before it pushes upwards, because this is the level that was able to crack above this highs, because remember, if there's a higher high, then there's a higher low, and then there's a higher high. The strongest one is the one that was able to break above this. You get it? Like this higher low is strong because it was able to crack above here. So that's how you are able to spot which areas are stronger and which are not, because this low is the one that was able to push beyond here, so which basically makes it more legit to be like a zone. So there's what we call also internal zones. These are what we call internal zones, because we're seeing it from a 15 and a 5 minute perspective compared to on the 1 hours and dailies. So these are internal zones. So then what I'm going to do now is I'm seeing that there's a high chance the price is going to come here. Obviously, I'm not looking for a sell. So I'll just wait for price to obviously get here. Once we get here, I'll wait for 15 minutes to, like, let's say touch here. Once it touched, it has confirmed. First criteria has confirmed. I'll go on the 5 minute. On the 5 minute, I'll be waiting to see price breaking above lower high on the 5 minute. Let's see if this was lower high, and then coming back to retest. Then I'll take a buy, aiming for a push up. Okay, so it's very important to wait for specific stuff to happen just before price pushes. You see this whole huge momentum, and we did speak about, like, the dollar dropping, selling, and things like that. Here we can see now prices. Remember, we spoke about this being like, this is more of an aggressive entry. Someone could already see this, already be in, already even going for take profit now. Let's say, for instance, seeing this already in 1:2 type of a move, but that'll need more of like an aggression to it, because when trading this way, truth speaking, for me, if I'm trading this way, already when price is like on 1:1, I'm moving my stop loss to break even. You get it? So because I know that there's a high chance that price is going to take me out once again. So I don't want to do that now. I just want to, because I'm actually focused on these accounts that I'm trading, so I want to make sure that I'm only catching the rightest setups, truly speaking. So that's why I would have to wait for this ultimate setup that I've been looking at. So yeah, man, we're doing this, bro. We are doing this. So once again, I just want to see what the news is saying. The news are not out yet. So me already here, I already had orders that were here, but because this is on the 5 minutes, it's not on the 15 minute. So on the 15 minute is where I would need it for price. Like, let's say here, this was the 15 minutes. When price got here, I had to wait for it to touch. You see here, this touch. After it has touched, then I come back here, look at it, it broke above. Once it broke above, when it comes down, that's where I take my buy and then I go up with it, you see. So that's what I'm waiting for right here. Let me remove this because I don't want to have too many things going on. I want to focus with what's going on the current structure here. But yeah, so yeah, I can see this cell also made perfect sense, because anyway, just by looking at it, you can easily see that it respected these highs, didn't really break above. We kept on creating lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, and lows. So it makes perfect sense for us. Okay, we're doing this, team. We are doing this. Do you guys have any questions that you guys wanted to ask? Was there any questions that you guys wanted to pull through with? So there's still like a couple of more minutes for these news to come out. So there's still more trading opportunity for today, up until all the way up to, you know, looking at the time of past 9. But yeah, so yeah, I can see there's this latest 5 hours ago, which when was it? Yeah, we got this gold rises as traders await US data market talk. Okay, this is what we're speaking about. This 10 hours ago. Okay, let's just see what they say here. Gold rises as traders await US data market talk. Gold prices rises, investors await key US economic data this week for more cues on the Federal Reserve interest rate trajectory. New York futures gain 4.2%, $4.2 thousand, and troy ounce following a decline in the previous trading session, driven by easing safe haven demand and profit taking. Market participants are closely watching upcoming data, including ADP, which is what we're speaking about right here. This one here, this was 5 hours ago. This was 5 hours ago. You can see it was at 10, and so it's more like looking for this, waiting for this. And then ADP employment figures, the ISM services index, which is this here as well. ISM, this one is the one that's coming up in the next hour, in the next 50 minutes. And the PCE price index. According to the FedWatch tool, traders are pricing in an 80% chance of a December interest rate cut. Okay, if there is an interest rate cut, you do understand that the dollar is going to be dropping. Meanwhile, physical demand remains robust. ETFs increased their gold holdings for the 5th consecutive day, adding 194.788 ounces. Analysts say this marks the biggest one-day increases since October 21. Silver futures are flat at $58 an ounce, while platinums is up 0.70 at 1.6 an ounce. This is interesting stuff, because looking at it, you can see that they're mentioning here that there's a high chance that if there's an 87% chance of a December interest rate cut, if that happens, obviously you should be able to understand that the market is gonna fall, dollar is gonna fall, and if dollar is falling, gold is going more higher and more higher and more higher. So yeah man, we're doing this. We are doing this. Okay, so yeah, let's do this, team. Do you guys have any questions? Maybe you guys wanted to ask questions. You guys have any questions? We're doing this, team. We are doing this, guys. We're going harder. Gold. So you see now with that move that we did mention, if I was targeting these areas, I'm sure now it would be hitting take profits. So with this, obviously, it'll need more data for me to even start trading like these methods here. Data in terms of having to do more of such, because you see here, I'm gonna have probably 1:2, and price would be like pushing a bit more, trying to target. So already here, I would have like a stop loss at break even type thing, which price can either come take me out break even, it can go hit take stop loss, take profit, but it would be obviously nice for me to see that push. And maybe just by looking at it, you can see what was the cause of it. First touch, second touch, now third touch, and it potentially respected these areas here, but it's too volatile looking at it here. I'm not trying to target a very small move like this here. I'm actually trying to catch an actual move. Because even here, maybe using a 1:1 method, maybe this could have worked for you. 1:1, but you'd need to have a high win rate for you to be able to have a 1:1. You'd need to have a high win rate, and you'd need to basically have a bigger stop loss as well. So yeah, man, NASDAQ, we still see this push. We saw this push down, not massively, but I remember the previous week when we experienced something like this. This was a painful one, because I was like buying, getting nice trades, making profits all the time, up until this came, and I tried to buy stop loss, I tried to buy against stop loss, I tried to buy against stop loss, and now price went down. So even here, that's why I say it's much more wiser for me to wait for it to touch here, do some rejections, do some candlestick confirmations, do some market structure confirmations, and then from there is where I would be interested in seeing how exactly I'm gonna be able to capitalize on it. Okay, because even here I can see that it's respecting these areas here, but you might have to take them out. You see here, it's respecting it, but obviously it will have to take them out. Just that these candles are too huge. These candles are way too huge. Okay, let's do this, team. So I don't really want to look at things that I don't look at, because I see some people asking me to look at just DJPY, US 100. So I don't really give those too much of my attention. So obviously looking at it for an hour, I mean for a short time frame, is not going to be too valuable, because like things like gold, NASDAQ, I look at them all the time, so I know most definitely I follow it, compared to when I look at USD, JPY. It will just be for the sake of analysis purposes. But obviously the first thing is we need to understand that there's a high chance that dollar is going to be dropping, which means that if dollar is dropping, USD, JPY, we're looking for sells, and we're seeing that we came from being this upward trend right here, but we are at this area of resistance right here, on which we respected these areas here. Last bullish candle on the daily, just before price went to the downside here, before it went to the downside. So already I can see that we are at resistant. We respected this resistant area, and as well we got this engulfing bearish candlestick on the daily, which is showing that there is a lot of selling power that we can experience. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the 4 hour. So on the 4 hour already, you can see lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. So obviously we're forming lower low, lower high, lower low, but we just need to be, see this area here, would need to be on the lookout for it, especially the fact that we already touched here these areas. So now it's just a matter of once we crack below here, because this is our last significant higher low, just before price actually because this was higher high, higher low, price broke above, so we didn't really create some sort of a low here. And looking at it, how it's moving, there's a high chance that we are going to do that. So yeah, we just have to, once we crack below here, obviously on the 4 hour, on the bigger time frame, remember we did say that there's internal and there's external structures. So this is more like an external, like change of character. It's external because it's from a bigger perspective, bigger time frame. But already on the 5 minutes, on the 15 minutes, there has been those internal ones that happened here, because these are also breaks of structures here, you can see. So it's just a matter of, obviously, now on the bigger time frame, once that happens, then would be involved in something more like this, up until somewhere here, and then we'll see this push down. Okay. So you see with this one here as well, we're looking at price at least touching, getting to somewhere around these levels here. Once we here, that's where price can potentially see a push up. Why do I have this? Oh, this was from this. Yes, price could potentially have a push up. I'm just gonna leave these lines on so that I can remember in terms of everything that has been discussed. But either price is gonna touch here, go back up, or price is just gonna like literally start pushing a bit more up till it gets here, and then we'll see that drop down. So with this one here as well, more like a similar thing. DEX, I tried to stay a bit more away from it because I noticed that most setups that do play out the way that I like, let's say for instance, like I'd master a setup on gold, I'd master a strategy and how it moves, how it goes on gold, and then I'd try to apply it on a different, like let's say on DEX, and I've realized that I didn't really give it as much time as possible, because with gold I believe I have over 10,000 trades on gold. Even NASDAQ I have over, if not 20, 30,000 trades on just that. So I have enough data. But on DEX I don't really have that much data. So for me to really be able to see if I'm profitable from trading DEX, I would need to have data, on which I never really gave myself time to, give that much data. But yeah, man, looking at it, you can see how price is moving. 4 hours, let's just say daily. We have been in the ranging market since these lows, these highs, these here. Let me just put it here. This on the daily. You can see price went above, didn't break below, played around here since June, basically on the daily. So it's been ranging from this upward to ranging. So either two ways, either price is gonna break above or either price is gonna break below. But with that being said, let me just do this. Obviously now I can see the prices forming lower low, lower high, lower low, tried to form lower high, didn't really hold, it broke above this lower high, which now you can simply see that prices highs, higher low, and there's a chance that price could potentially break above and create new highs. So with this one here, it's honestly, it's in a sideways market from my perspective. I can't really try to look for a setup on something it's in a sideways markets, né? So US Tech, you see, this is where we are. Yeah, we're still coming. Gold as well, we're still coming. So far me, I've got a bit of confidence on gold, and not just because of, it's also because of I'm seeing the potential. I'm targeting 1:2, but there's a high chance that price is gonna crack above here. So once it does that, look at the reward on it. That's gonna be a 5.9, which means that the only thing that I'd have to do is, once it goes up in profits, is adjust my stop loss, move up with it, move up until it takes me out. And by the way, even if it takes me out here, it's way more than what I wanted, because my take profit was 1:2. You get it? So that's why I'm looking at capitalizing more on gold. And I won't lie, from where it is, there could be chances of it breaking upwards, looking at how it's been moving for the past few weeks, days, but I'm just gonna have to be disciplined, man. I'm just gonna have to wait for what I did say that I'm waiting for. Otherwise, it's gonna be insane. So yeah, man. The news are gonna be coming up in the next 30. So once they do come out, obviously this is what's gonna be influencing the market next. If it becomes just, if like this happens to be less than 52, actual happens to be less than 52, just know that dollar is gonna be continuing to go down, né? And if dollar is going down, obviously gold and them are going up. So that's one thing that you need to take. So I would have loved to see when the news come, like just a quick spike out, like, you know, play a bit more, because me, I want to trade after the news. I don't want to be involved when the news are going on. I want to be involved after the news, because even now I had a buy limit here, but just before the news comes, I'm gonna remove it, and then the news happen, and then later after they happen, maybe 5 minutes later, that's where I'll be able to just re-look at it, right? So like, let's say for instance, I can come back and just remove, because you see I had this sell limit here, so I can just remove it and wait for and I'm just gonna have an alert entry here. So when price happens to cross here, it's gonna let me know, and I'll be able to see exactly what the news is saying, right? So it'll be interesting, guys. It'll be interesting. I don't know if you guys have any questions. So yeah, man, with NASDAQ, it didn't really break below these areas here, these ones here. So there's two ways. Either price is gonna respect this, either price is gonna respect this, and you see that on the 1 minute, because on the 1 minute you can see we had this higher high we broke above, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. So already with this would have been a nice entry right here after this high, because it broke above here, coming back, entry for going upwards like this. But that'll be more of a 1 minute type of an entry where you're just trying to capitalize. So let me just see on the 5 minute, because here with what I'm seeing here, there could be like still some push upwards. There is push upwards, but there's two ways, like I did say. Remember, the news are still coming, so sometimes having to make a decision just before the news is still gonna like be tricky, because you might be right, you might want to buy. Let's say I might be right and say, oh no, this looks like a clean buy, like this, and price can do this, and then maybe the news come, and then I'm like, I could have waited for it. You get it? Because here will be a negative. You understand? So that's why sometimes it's very important to just wait. Like yesterday, I felt pain, man, when I missed the setup out. I took an entry and it went against me, took me out, and then it shot up. It was painful, but it was good because of it taught me something. It taught me what I need to look out for, how I need to enter trades. You know, I'm having to wait for confirmations, and it felt good, as much as it was not good like when I look at my history, my trade history, but it felt good because I done literally everything, right? Because just like that, I done literally everything. Yeah. And yeah, man, it was not nice experiencing that. I followed my trading plan, I stuck to the rules, I done everything you can think of. So you see, if like you rushed it, then you're looking for maybe an opportunity. Yeah, this one thing that I've also realized from one thing also that was able to that I was able to find from trading with things like US tech, I noticed that it's more likely to go in drawdown and go back up. Like that's for me while trading. I saw that a lot. Like a lot of times it goes like close to stop loss and then it goes back up to take profit. So I've seen that a lot. I just have to discover a way whereby it's either I have to increase my entry, whereby I have to enter at a lower price, or it's either I have to increase my stop loss, because if I do increase my stop loss at the same time, I'm removing the amount of times it's gonna hit my stop loss and go in my direction, but at the same time find out that it can just be a tricky thing, né? Like you see here, you saw how it was going on the negatives before it shot up. So even here as well. But yeah, man, we are doing this. Okay. But yeah, man, I think for now we can just call it a session. We've been here for over an hour now. It has been an hour. Let me just confirm. Yeah, it has been an hour, 2 minutes. We've been looking at the markets, and obviously just make sure that you are in the Telegram group, because whenever these setups do show up, I'll be able to just share it there. I'll just wait, because now I wanna wait for market to present these news. Once the news are out, I'm not gonna really wait till this. I'm just gonna I know during this time frame, 5 minutes later, like 5 minutes past 5, I know that I'll be able to find some opportunities. I'd find some opportunities here and there. Maybe I'd find that one opportunity, and then once we in, hopefully by the time this year happens, because these are not heavy, these are like less volatile news, né? And once maybe this happens, I'd already be in the trade, locking in profits. So that's just something I'm gonna be working with, trying to look at. Okay. So yeah, man, I'm excited that you guys did show up. You guys did join up, and let's do this, team. Let us do this. You see how price is moving? It's becoming insane. It's becoming insane. So right here we might see price respecting these areas, and then maybe going down. We could see that. Otherwise price is gonna just break above here type of a thing. And then also if that happens, we'd have to now re-look at how we're gonna capitalize on it. But ultimately my ultimate setup is gonna come as soon as price was able to, because I wanna guide. My ultimate setup is gonna come as soon as price was able to, the news were out. Okay, team, let's do this. Let's reconnect. And yeah, make sure that you're in the Telegram group. TikTok link is in bio. YouTube, the very first link in description. And when I do happen to share these setups out, you do not miss out. Okay? I don't know what's happening to my internet. Okay, let's go for it, team. Do take care. Have a phenomenal one.